$5 make you holla. Cock-a-doodle-doo and cockle-doo. Just playing. Okay, so today's video is going to be on trust. So I recently seen a post saying, what was the biggest mistake you've made in a relationship, on a page that I follow on Facebook. And I noticed that yeah, I just brushed my teeth. That's very sweet. Okay. So I noticed that the most common thing that I was seeing people say was trusting someone and ignoring all the red flags. Okay. So 100%. I believe a lot of us, most of us, go through that. Especially with the state that the world is in. It's super bright. I'm putting these on, but just know that underneath these, I'm making eye contact with you, okay? So I believe this is something that is necessary and is a part of our reason to be here on earth, and is a part of the emotions that we are to experience. I want to go into a recent situation that I was just in. So I was in a relationship. I knew full well, like right off the hop, my intuition was like, something ain't right here. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go find out anyway, right? So, anywho, I went through the initial realization of, okay, I'm not in a good situation here. However, I still wanted to go back. So I was talking with God, and it just hit me. I was like, okay, bet. Okay, seriously, okay, there's something I need to learn here. So me talking with God, I'm like, okay, bet. I'm gonna take everything that I know, and I'm just gonna stick it in the back of my head, because you see, in this the recent relationship that I just went through with whatever, that whole situation over there, I was doubting my intuition because I didn't know if it was a trauma response, or if it was if I was uncomfortable because my intuition was giving me the red flags, being like ding ding ding, the no no no. Anyway, I should have listened to my intuition. Regardless, I had something to learn. So instead of wallowing in the bullshit that was going on, I accepted it. I embraced it. I took what I knew, and I approached the whole thing with kindness and compassion. So not only did this show me that I was capable of being in a relationship, it showed me that I am not traumatized. I am not the unhealthy behavioral patterns of my past or what I've experienced. And this was a new avenue. So in a way, I don't know if I helped the person that I was with grow and come to realizations themselves, or if I just created a super narcissist, and now they know many things that they're going to work around. So if you come across a super narcissist or find yourself doubting and you come across this video, feel free to message me. We can figure it out together. But at the end of the day, valuable lessons, valuable lessons. So there's so many things I want to talk to you guys about. And one of the things I was this person, he asked me if I thought he was a god, and this kind of struck me the wrong way. At that very moment, I went and I sat beside him instead of on him, and I was like, no, I don't believe you are a god. But you can come and you can choose to be with God if you would like. That is your own free will. You do have that option. Um, Anywho, long story short, he then repeated to me later on, "You thought I was a god." You see how these, like, they convince themselves of certain things that are said that are not being said. And then they want to try and find fault in you. So anything that you do, anything that isn't in an alignment of them in that very moment, is going to be something that they're going to try and throw in your face. So I went through that. I did that for 4 years. I gave the emotional reaction. It took me 2.5 years before I finally realized how much of my energy I was giving away. Um, and I came across a video because his response to me was, that's not in my potential. To when I said to him, you can come be with God, that is your free will, I got the response of, that's not in my potential. So super red flag right there. It kind of struck me in a different way. And at that moment, I had a realization of what I was dealing with. So, because my faith is so strong, I was searching up that answer to see what was popping up. And I came across a video, and I can link it in the description. I have to go find it again. It's a pretty good video. I don't remember names. It's not really my thing, so don't get mad at me. But the quote that was said is, must be to be real must be changing. To be changing never truly is. So the lessons that we go through in life, the trials that we go through, the bad experiences, and what we get from that, those what we take from that is a knowing. We have a knowing of certain behaviors. We have a knowing of how to approach it in the future. And everyone's approach is different. No one's approach is wrong. Where I feel these knowings are getting looked at incorrectly is they're being looked at as mistakes. Back to the reference of the post that I was reading. What was the biggest mistake? Okay, is it really a mistake that you now possess that knowledge? Is it really a mistake that you can pass that on to someone else so that they may not have to go through as much as you did? I don't see that as a mistake. I feel that we are looking at our shortcomings in such a negative way when this is something to empower us. In this recent experience, I was all sad and I had my low, and then as soon as I felt the need to continue on in the relationship, I simply said to God, I'm like, okay, bet. There's obviously something I need to integrate here, and I'm totally ready and prepared to do this with the most kindest and in the most kindest and compassionate way. And within these knowings, this builds our character. This is all character building. This is what's creating us to be that mountain that is unmovable. And throughout that whole experience that I just went through over the past 5 months, I was that mountain that was unmovable. I was not swayed. I was not doubting myself. Don't get me wrong, I cried, but I cried because I had to put my own needs above somebody else's who wasn't treating me right. So that was a realization I had to come through, that it's painful to put yourself first. And as much as I can be compassionate and kind, there is a limit of what is okay and acceptable and not okay. So continuing on in this video, he was referencing that God is perfect in his actuality. Perfect in the actuality, I'm going to relate it to religion. The stories that are in religion are perfect in their actuality because of the core lesson that it teaches. How you get there doesn't matter. To be real is to learn the lessons, and the way you learn that lesson is perfect in its actuality. That's the way I see that. Be perfect in our actuality. We learn our core lessons throughout life. To be real isn't changing. That only comes from a knowing. Ideals of religion isn't the only way to obtain that knowing. So the main lesson, and that's what I mean, like, so God is perfect in its actuality because he knows all these core lessons that are behind the stories. And we're here learning them. So the way we learn it, there's no incorrect way we learn it, but we got to stop looking at the things that we learn as mistakes, is all I want to say. These are things to empower us. These are things that we can share with others. These are things that we should love and embrace about ourselves. And just because we went through with this experience and we trusted someone for far too long, or we gave too much of ourselves, yada, 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 can we look at the power of that? Can we look at the power of what it means to continue to be able to love far beyond the behavior and the treatment that we receive? For real. Just because I went through this and I knowingly knew I was walking into a manipulative relationship and doubted myself and continued and continued and continued, I never once raised my voice at this person. I never once called them names. Sure, it hurt and I cried, but I mean, it was perfect in its actuality to integrate what I needed to learn. And I wouldn't have had it any other way to learn what I needed to learn. So believe in yourselves. Remember who you are. Don't let outside events change the way you love. Because what I really got out of it was I got to see how perfect I can treat somebody, how loving I can treat somebody, how secure I was in who I am, and in and with the ability to put that security in the way I look at others or the person that I'm going to be with. So when I do meet that right person, and when I do, I wouldn't want to love them any other way than the way I just experienced. I was able to love. So that's today's video. Love you much. And if you have any questions, please comment below. I would love to talk more. Like and subscribe. And yeah, ciao for now.